Japanese Pokemon sets, they've been a real big boom recently, but what has been going on in the Japanese market? Normally we take a look at English, but today we're taking a look at the booster boxes for Japanese products and some of the top cards to see if this big waifu craze is still going or has it died out. Let's get into it. Alright guys, Japanese. We don't normally look at Japanese sets. Now I do enjoy opening up the newest set whenever it comes out. That's normally a thing we tend to do over on the streams, although I haven't really opened up much Japanese myself because I don't tend to collect Japanese. However, I can't deny how amazing some of the card quality and just the overall feel of the Japanese cards are. They're just fantastic, right? Now with booster boxes, there's been a lot of talk and there's been a lot of stuff going around about them being super expensive, you know, with the waifu craze and charging and scalping, and it has been crazy the last few months. Things are starting to die down a little bit, although the craze and the hype is still there and kind of the inflated prices are still there. So today we'll be taking a look at the booster boxes and some of the top cards from those sets to see what's been going on with the Japanese market. But first, let's get into today's sponsor, lowpoppin.market. If you are on the hunt for big top-end graded cards, they have you covered. From PSA 10s to Beckett Black labels, guys, they have it all for you. They have all of their stock listed over on their Instagram page, so you can go through and browse through their entire catalog of amazing graded cards. I mean, they are absolutely fantastic. If you necessarily don't have the funds right now, they can also buy your collections from you guys to help get the cards that you want to get hold of. But not only do they buy collections, but they also do trades as well. We all know we like trading, but they also accept trades towards the cards that you want to get. If you don't have the cash right now, buy the cards that you want. And on top of that, they also accept multiple payment methods and international shipping. Hey, I'm over here in the UK, so that's great news for me. So if you're looking at picking up some of these cards, or you just want to check out their store, make sure to click on the link in the description below. Head on over to their Instagram page and their store, drop them a follow, and go and take a look. Alright, let's get into the video. Alright, so the first set we're going to look at today is, of course, 151, right? It is the in thing right now. Everybody's opening up the English version. And the Japanese version came out with an absolute bang. I mean, people were paying through the nose for not only the booster boxes, but to just open the packs. It was crazy. I've been seeing people that are paying 20, 30, 40 plus for a single pack, and you're thinking, you gotta be absolutely crazy. I mean, there's gold packs in here, there's those incredible Master Ball reverses, there's just a ton of beautiful stunning cards in this set which are exclusive to Japanese. Of course, we've got like sort of gold packs in English, but nowhere near on the scale of Japanese ones. Now let's take a look. So we're looking at this. Now booster boxes were around $200 for the longest time. We go back, say, 6 months, and you can see that it's really inflated. Now there's only 20 packs in this set, and it was pretty mental, and it has dropped since. Not a huge amount, but it has dropped, right? So we're looking around $200, and as you can see here, it's around about that 176, so still slightly more expensive. Over here in the UK, they have dropped. They were pushing towards that 180, 190 a box, even in some cases 200 a box, but they have been dropping. You can pick one up now for around about 140. It's still quite pricey in my opinion, but it is a very, very highly demanded set, and people love opening it, so it is a pretty good one, I think, definitely for the long term, but it is doing incredibly well. Now, when we take a look at the cards from 151, now don't forget, like, these are, you know, pretty much similar to the English version, although with some different stuff. So let's take a look at this. So we got the Pikachu Master Ball reverse. That is the big one, $289. That is the big money card in this set. Now, you can't find it in English. It is only in Japanese. One of the reasons why it's doing really well. The waifu craze is still going strong, you know, with Japanese, with the Erica's Invitation at $190. It is still doing really well. Now, in English, it's dropping. People aren't really that interested, which I'm happy with, but it's doing really well in Japanese, of course. Now, the Mew we have in the UPC. So we get it in the UPC. We don't get it in the normal set. We can't open it in booster packs, whereas in Japanese, you can. 185 for that one. So that one, again, is doing pretty well. And the Charizard, which is the biggest end, is the biggest card in English. Here we're looking at 130. In English, it's around about 110, give or take. So it's roughly the same. However, the Mew Gold is doing really well. Like in English, it's around about $25, 122 right here. So the Gold Mew's doing pretty well. And then we got loads more of the Master Ball reverses. We've got the Mewtwo Master Ball reverse coming in at 95. We've got the Erica's Invitation at 92. We've got the Eevee there as well, 81. You've got the Zapdos, which is one of my favorites, at 69. And then look, you've got a bunch of these Master Ball reverses. These are the ones that everybody just wants to get hold of, and it's a shame that they're not in English. It is a great shame because they were fantastic and they were really, really nice, and you know, it's just really cool. And of course, we've got a bunch of the SIRs that you of course get in English as well, but nonetheless, there are a bunch of gorgeous cards in 151, and I think this will do well. I think 151 in the long haul will continue to do well, and especially in Japanese, because of the Master Ball reverses. Okay, on to Clayburst. Now, Clayburst came out with a bit of a bang, right? It had the Iono, which was the big money card, one of the most expensive modern era cards going, right? But this came out with a lot of controversy around it about how expensive these booster boxes were. We go back 6 months and we can see what has been going on. So $180, it did actually go up to as high as $200, similar to the 151. But since then, Pokemon have kind of brought in this print to demand, right? So basically, there's going to be a lot of it around. And that's what happened, right? So it went from 200, and as you can see over the past few months, it has been going down to now 120. Still quite pricey in my opinion. I think anything over $100 for a Japanese booster box, a normal standard 30-pack booster box, is just too expensive. It really is. Hype is still there though, the waifu craze is still going, and Clayburst kind of brought in this, really, I say brought in, but it kind of pushed the waifu craze to the next level, and it really did. Now, as you can see, let's take a look at Clayburst. So as you can see, you got the Iono, or both of them. So the Iono here at $500. Now this was over $1,000. I think it was $1,500 when it first came out. Obviously, printed demand, it has made it dropped a lot more. The rest of the set though doesn't really have that much in the way of big money chase cards, apart from the 2 Ionos. You look at 151, there's loads of different cards that had pretty decent value. But apart from the 2 Ionos, look, the next one's like 28, and then we look at 20, 20. And, you know, Paldea Evolved, is because this is what this went into, didn't really, it's kind of done okay, but not the greatest. The Iono is still doing really good in English. In English, probably look around about $80 to $90. Obviously in Japanese, waifu craze, a lot tougher to pull as well. You're looking at $565. Still very expensive. No, don't get me wrong, we're not talking, you know, cheap money here. But compared to where it was, it has dropped quite a bit. Okay, Snow Hazard. Now, Snow Hazard kind of came out at the same time as Clayburst. So it was like double. And this is a bit more reasonable, right? The booster box prices for this one is a bit more reasonable. We go back 6 months compared to Clayburst. We'll see what happens. So this was 130, so it did have the hype similar to Clayburst. Don't forget, Clayburst was 200. They came out at the same time. Everyone was like, whoa, it's going to be crazy. Hey, print demand, drop the price and the value of this. Now we're looking at 72. That's a bit more reasonable, right? When we're talking about booster boxes in Japanese, I expect like this sort of price point, maybe a little bit less, but 72 is a lot more reasonable than as we saw with Clayburst and of course 151. But Snow Hazard does have lower value cards in it. So we take a look at Snow Hazard. We actually have another full art trainer coming in. We got the Grusha at 105, so big difference compared to Iono, over 500. But then we got the Shenpao. Shenpao is actually, you know, not only quite a playable card, it is a pretty awesome artwork. Coming in at $60. And then actually, I mean, to be fair, apart from you take away the Ionos, right, from Clayburst, this actually has a few more cards that's worth a little bit more higher value. We've got the Gold Energy, we got another full art trainer. We're looking around $30. If we go down and then we start getting like super cheap territory for the big pulls of the set, so that's one of the reasons why it is a bit cheaper to get Snow Hazard compared to Clayburst. Okay, on to Triplet Beat. This was another set where it got really expensive. Like it got really expensive. People are after it. We go back 6 months, we can have a look. So again, we're looking at $140, $150. A bit too pricey in my opinion. You know, I held off actually on all of these sets because I didn't want to pay the price. I didn't want to spend all this money on these Japanese booster boxes. I just didn't think it was, you know, worth it, to be perfectly honest. I felt like they will drop in price. Well, Triplet Beat has dropped in price from the high of 150. Now we're looking at 82. Again, a bit more reasonable. We're not talking over $100 a box. It's a bit more reasonable. And again, this had another big chase card in the Dendra, another waifu card people going crazy over, and that was causing, you know, prices to be so high. Well, printed demand really put a dampener on this set. Now, when we look at Triplet Beat, as you can see, the Dendra, 171. I believe this card was like 1,000 or nearly 1,000, maybe a few, you know, several hundred when it came out. Again, reprints and the printed demand, and the overall demand has died down a bit. It has died down. We've got the Masquerada coming in at 65. That's not worth that much in English. I mean, take a look at the Dendra, right? If you look at the big Dendra in English, it's not worth much at all. I think maybe 15, 20, nothing really. And again, in English, it doesn't really do very well. These waifu cards tend not to do that well. Then you've got the Skeledirge, actually doing pretty well at 35. That's a pretty cool one. I do like the Skeledirge. I mean, the Masquerada is doing really well in Japanese. Now, don't forget this formed Paldea Evolved, similar to the Iono. So we've got the Magikarp. In English, this is actually worth more. Here, we're looking at $30. In English, it looks at about 50. So it is actually worth more. There are some really nice cards in this set, of course. And obviously, it goes into Paldea Evolved. And I really rate Paldea Evolved. Overall, I mean, Triplet Beat has been dropping in value for the cards and also the booster packs. Alright, the Violet EX box. Again, when this came out, when Scarlet and Violet came out, so we had Scarlet and we had Violet. When they both came out, there was a lot of talk about Violet. Not so much Scarlet, but definitely Violet. Why? Because you had the Miriam. Again, another waifu card. And this set really was expensive. We go back 6 months. And again, we're looking at nearly $200 a box. And this formed, obviously, Scarlet and Violet base in English. And this, booster box has been going up and down, up and down, up and down. And actually dipped to 88, which was kind of, or 84 even, which was its lowest. And it's been going down ever since. So right now, I think is a good time to pick this up. It is quite cheap. And of course, again, we're following the trend of the waifu card craze. It's slowly dying down a little bit. I wouldn't say it's like dropped off the face of the earth, but it is definitely still there. But it's not quite as good as it once was. Let's take a look at Violet. So Miriam, $400. That's still holding pretty well. That's actually more than I thought it was going to be. A lot more than the Dendra. I believe this came out around about $700, which was at the time everyone was talking about it. Everyone was like, this is crazy. And yeah, it is kind of crazy. Iono's still the most expensive. We've got the Miraidon coming in at 160. So let's put it into perspective, right? Miriam in English is about 40, 35, 40. We're looking at the Miraidon, maybe 25. And then we're looking at the Miriam, maybe 15 to 20. It's crazy how much more expensive these are in Japanese. Of course, they're a lot harder to pull. You only get like basically one per box. And there's a big, large pool of them. But overall, I think this set, I mean, it does make Scarlet and Violet base. I do feel like this is much better than the English version. So if you are going to collect, and if you don't mind collecting Japanese, this is probably a better one to collect. Sealed, if compared to the Scarlet and Violet base. But this is dropping. This is dropping in value across the board, from the cards to the booster boxes. So yeah, I kind of feel like the waifu craze, like I say, is slowing down. Okay, we're going to take a look at V-Star Universe. Now, I love V-Star Universe, high class set. I kind of feel like we'll probably get another one towards the end of the year. They tend to do it like, at the moment recently anyway, towards the end of the year. And I believe this came out like December last year. Before then, you had VMAX Climax, and then you had, I think, Shiny Star V, stuff like that, right? So V-Star Universe, very good. It does form into Crown Zenith in English. We go back 6 months, and we're looking around about 120 a box, and it did dip actually to around $90 or just below 90. Kind of the craze going down. But look at what we've been doing recently. It's bounced back up to 120, back where it was 6 months ago. This is an incredible set. You only get 10 booster packs in there, but every single pack is jam-packed. You get a guaranteed hit in every single pack. Cards are fantastic from this set. It's a beautiful set as well. Like I say, it forms into Crown Zenith, so expect all the gold cards like gold Giratinas and Arceuses. Overall, this is a really cool set. I love opening up V-Star Universe. Any of these high class sets, I love opening. So that's definitely doing really well. It's actually doing better than most of the other Japanese boxes right now. The fact it did dip and has now bounced back. And then we have Raging Surf. So we don't have the full data on Raging Surf at the moment, but booster boxes tend to be going around for that 60 to 70 mark, so a bit cheaper. Now Raging Surf, this is the brand new set. This is going to be forming part of Paradox Rift, which is coming out next month. And looking at it, I mean, there's some nice cards. There are some really nice cards, and there's some interesting ones. So we do have a Full Art Trainer, of course. Of course, we have a Full Art Trainer coming in at $80. We have this awesome looking Garchomp coming at 51. I mean, I'm looking forward to that. I mean, I don't know what else is coming out in this set, but this looks pretty sweet. Then we have the Golden Cheese String. Yeah, okay. This is coming in at 37. I'm not a huge fan of that card, not gonna lie. Then we've got the Trainer back again. That's a pretty sick card, actually. I prefer that to the other one at 37. Garchomp's back again in a gold form. I really rate that. So we have a lot of really cool looking cards. I mean, this Groudon, look at this. I mean, it's not expensive, but insane. But yeah, there are a lot of really nice cards from this set. This is, again, moving a bit away from that big hype. It's a pretty reasonably costed set right now. It's a normal booster box, 30 packs. So I do feel like Raging Surf is actually a pretty cool set to open and to collect. Means it is a more reasonably priced set moving forward. We've got 2 more Japanese sets that are coming, which will form into Paradox Rift. They'll be coming at the end of the month. We'll be talking about them coming into their release later on. But apart from that, Raging Surf overall, I think it's pretty cool. So there you have it, guys. That is what's been going on with the Japanese market right now. Like I said, a lot of them have been dropping in price. That hype is slowly dying down. The waifu craze is still there, kind of, but it's died down a bit, okay? Raging Surf looks to be a pretty decent set, and again, reasonably priced. V-Star Universe, however, has been doing really well. It dipped, and now it's on the rise again. It is a good set. It has Pokemon, which are the chase cards. It's not trainer cards. It's nice to finally see some sets doing well that don't have trainer cards as the top chase card. Although the Iono and the Miriam are doing very well in Japanese compared to in English. I mean, Iono's doing okay, but nowhere near as bad as the Miriam. But like I say, right now is a pretty good time to pick some booster boxes up because the hype has been dying down for Japanese. Now they're a lot more print to demand and all the recent sets are becoming print to demand. It means it's a lot easier to get hold of booster boxes without paying through the nose for them. That's the main thing. We're talking about things that are going up in price. 151, not only sealed products is going up in price, but single cards are going up in price. If you want to see what's everything that's going on regarding 151 in English, then make sure to click on this video right here. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that is it from me in this video. As always, you guys are legends. I'll see you in the next one.